All right, guys, we are back with another student that has recently passed the exam. Here he is, Quintae from Byron, Georgia. This guy has got a dynamic personality. I got the opportunity to spend a little time with him before going live here. And he is somebody that has served in the military, retired, took a little break. And Quintae, I hear this often, especially when, combat soldiers basically just kind of need to almost heal their body, their head, and so I hear that very often. Thank you for your service, and thank you for being here with us today. I want your tips, Quintae, and everyone in this group, they want your tips too. You did this you made it happen. So tell us, let's dive right into it. How did you pass the exam? What are your top tips? Let's start with number one.
Thank you so much, Corey. I do appreciate it. My first tip would be in regards to, I have my certification, of course, through ACE. And my first tip would be knowing the modules, therefore knowing all the sections, really immersing yourself through that process, writing down all of the quizzes at the end, writing down all those quiz questions. Not only are you writing down the answer on those quiz questions, but also know the wrong answers too. I found that was very important. And then doing that over and over again is pretty vital. My second tip would be creating flashcards. I think by the time I was done, I had a little over 200 flashcards altogether. And just going through those flashcards, physically having something in your hand that you can look at, that you can read out loud, and you can turn over and you can know why that answer is that answer. That was very important. And also know why the wrong answers are the wrong answers. That's pretty important too. So when it comes time to testing, you're able to pretty much do a process of elimination, and you can kind of get rid of a couple of the non-answer answers that's on there. Let's
talk a little bit about those flashcards a little bit more. Okay.
All right.
Did you create them digitally, or did you actually handwrite them? Did you type them? Did you use Quizlet? How did you build the flashcards?
So I hand wrote them, and I built them off of the quizzes at the end of every section. So after I got done with the quizzes, I made sure that the quiz was absolutely correct. That was 100% correct. And I would build from there. So it took me quite a while. I would say it took me probably 2 full days to do it all together. My hand was cramping, but I like to write things down, write it, repeat it, review it. So one of the best ways to really adhere to and really learn something is just to have those 3 methods at all times.
Say it again for everyone in the back.
Write it, repeat it, and review it is awesome. Extremely vital. Extremely vital. My third bullet point would be ensure that you have yourself some external motivation factors, i.e. family members, friends, loved ones. And for example, my twin sister is probably my top, cheerleader when it comes to any and everything. And she was familiar with what I was doing. She knew my time frame on when I wanted to test. Therefore, when it came close to, hour, if you will, when it came close to that last week, she was on me. She was calling me. One of the primary subjects that we were always talk about would be, have you been studying? What have you gone over today? Are you retaining it? And she kind of kept me on my toes. She wasn't the only one. I also had family members and very, very close friends and loved ones. My girlfriend was one of them that made sure, she's asking me, hey, are you studying? Are you reading? Do you really, really know it? Don't just memorize it, know it. So that was very important. My fourth bullet point would be set yourself up some internal motivation factors. And by that, I mean, if you know that, your exam is coming up within the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, what have you, give yourself a schedule and block the schedule with your study timeline. So if you want to do, let's say you want to donate 2 to 3 to 4 hours a day, if you can, worth of studying, make sure that you're on yourself to adhere to that you can really give yourself that time. Make sure it's something that's feasible. Don't try to make it something that's not. If you work 40 hours a week and you're tired, don't try to study afterwards. Get that study time in on those days off. That was really, really important. And when you do meet these timelines, reward yourself. For me, I would study, get as much study in as I could, specifically adhere to my timeline. And once I finish, I would go to the gym, have a good workout. And of course, I would treat myself to a smoothie afterwards. That's how I kept rewarding myself to stay on it. So that was pretty important. And for my fifth tip, I would say continue to review and repeat those previous bullet points. Just keep doing it over and over and over again. And I can assure you it's going to yield fruitful benefits for sure. Absolutely.
Awesome, Quintae. Awesome tips. Tell me, do you have any, like during your study time? Well, how long did you total study for, would you say, from beginning to end?
So I would say from beginning to end, I started originally in April. And I kind of walked myself into it slowly. At the very beginning, I think for the first month, I just did a bunch of the reading that was required. Okay. And then after that first, let's say, month or two, that's when I started, writing things down, listening to myself say the things out loud, going through the quizzes. If I get something right, that's great. Make sure I know why I got it right. And if I got something wrong, that's even better. Because if you know you got it wrong, you can go back and you can read and understand why it was wrong. So getting something wrong to me was more helpful than getting something right. So I would say altogether, I studied, total time was 6 months, right at 6 months.
Okay. Awesome. And for all these folks that are in this group right now, studying, getting ready to sit for their ACE exam, I think you said something earlier was really key. It was like, you're never going to feel real ready, right?
Absolutely.
What words of encouragement would you have for the folks that have not tested yet and they're getting ready to, whether it be preparation or sitting for whatever, what words of encouragement may you have?
I would say it's okay to feel discouraged. I would say it's okay to feel like you're not ready. That's actually normal. If you were to go into something full speed ahead, without any doubts, that's actually the more dangerous route to go, in my opinion. So I would say just keep studying. You're never gonna fully feel ready, and that's okay. But when you start taking that exam, if you adhere to, if you even just use my study tips and no one else's, if you adhere to it properly, give yourself plenty of time, don't rush anything, really know the material, I guarantee you by the time you're halfway, 70% done with that exam, you're gonna know that you passed. When I took my exam, I was probably 40 questions until I was done, and I knew I passed. I was like, I know I passed. It's just a matter of when I hit submit, how well did I pass? So you're gonna get discouraged. That's okay. You're gonna feel unprepared. That's okay. But as long as you're studying right, and as long as you're reading, I even found myself listening to quite a few of Doug Blake's videos, which I found extremely helpful. So as long as you're utilizing all of the study techniques and the ACE program, as long as you're utilizing what Doug says, as long as you're listening to some of these interviews and listening to some of the successful test takers like myself, you're going to do fine.
Awesome. Quintae, thank you so much for taking the time to jump on here and share some of your tips with the students. Very helpful. And again, thank you for your service to this country. We appreciate it. And I wish you nothing but the best. And I look forward to hearing your story of being a successful personal trainer. I really do. Please come back and share that with us. Okay.
Absolutely. Will do. Thank you so much, Corey. Right. I appreciate it.
Take care. Bye-bye.
You as well. Bye-bye.